Well, hello, all of my students. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Welcome to another episode of Improved English Podcast. This is episode number 13. So if this is your first time watching the episode, I do these episodes weekly, once a week, usually on the weekend. And if you want to watch the older episodes, there is a link down in the description that you can go and watch the previous 12 episodes. Now, today I have a story that is from the news. What we're going to do today is go through a story that I got from the Associated Press News. And so what I'm going to do from time to time is talk about some current event stories, and we'll read through the different articles that I come across. And you know my format. I'll go over phrases and vocabulary words, and we'll have a good time here on the podcast. Let me say that if you have not checked out my English listening videos, that's over on my Parlay with Jay channel. You can scan this QR code, you can screenshot it and share it with a friend. And on that particular channel, I have stories that I read, and you can use those to strengthen your English listening skills. Okay, so we're having a good time over there. I hope you enjoy it. Let me get a sip of water and let's get ready to go over the news story that I found for us to talk about and read this week. Now, I must confess, I do not watch the news. If you watch some of my other English lessons, you know I think the news is too negative for me. My wife watches the news, and we have our back and forth discussions, and she says, look, I just want to be informed. I'm saying, okay. I usually read headlines from the internet, and so I kind of know what's going on from there. But to sit and watch the news for 30 minutes to an hour, it's such a downer for me, and I just choose not to watch it. So that's just me. If you're different, let me know down in the comments section. I haven't watched the news for years. Okay. So here's the story that I found for today. And now my computer is not working. Hurricane Beryl heads toward Jamaica as a major hurricane after ripping through southeast Caribbean or Caribbean. No, I didn't say Caribbean, the Caribbean. Let's read it faster. Beryl heads toward Jamaica as a major hurricane, after ripping through southeast Caribbean. So when something rips through, of course, you can rip a piece of paper, okay? But when a storm rips through an area, it usually moves at a fast speed and causes danger or damage. And so we say, man, it ripped through here. So it came through quickly, and it actually caused some type of damage. Okay. So the article starts out, Hurricane Beryl roared through open waters Tuesday as a powerful Category 4 storm heading toward Jamaica after earlier crossing islands in the southeast Caribbean, killing at least 6 people. So the headline said that the hurricane ripped through. Now in the article, it says that the hurricane roared through. So these two terms are descriptive of the power of the hurricane. Oh man, the hurricane roared through, or the tornado roared through. Or you might say, we had a storm this morning. Oh man, it was roaring outside. So it was loud. It was damaging, destructive type of weather. Okay, so ripping and roaring, those are somewhat similar in the description of a storm coming through a location. Okay, let's continue. A hurricane warning was in effect for Jamaica, Grand Cayman, Little Cayman, and Cayman Brac. Now, notice a hurricane warning. So, what we usually have are storm watches and then storm warnings. You can have a tornado watch and a flood watch or a hurricane watch. But then you also have a warning. And for those who don't know, the difference is a watch means that people, as well as the weather center, they are watching out for the arrival or the formation of that particular storm or weather pattern. Okay. We having a hurricane watch. Everyone be careful. Make sure you are safe. So we're watching for a hurricane. It looks like one is forming. It looks like one is on the way. But when there's a hurricane warning, then there's been confirmation that the hurricane, the flood, or the tornado, or the blizzard, it's happening. Okay, it's taking place right now. And so the language will change. They'll say, seek safety, get to high ground. It's a hurricane warning. Beryl was losing intensity or power. It was very aggressive, but as it lost intensity, the storm got weaker. Okay, but was forecast to still be near major hurricane strength. When it passes near or over Jamaica early Wednesday, near the Cayman Islands on Thursday, and into Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula on Friday, according to the National Hurricane Center. So the hurricane was on the move. I mean, that's a pretty fast moving hurricane to be progressing that amount of distance in such a short amount of time. So I talked about hurricanes on my Parlay with Jay channel, and I was talking about how I have been in hurricanes. My relatives in Virginia experienced hurricanes when we used to visit for the summer. I've been to Mexico and been there for, I believe it was a tropical storm close to a hurricane. But the winds and the water were very rough, so much so that the hotel floors had water on them. And this was during our vacation. Yeah. So a National Hurricane Center is actually a place that is dedicated to watching out for hurricanes. Okay. National Hurricane Center. A hurricane watch was in effect for Haiti's southern coast and the Yucatan's east coast. Okay, so wow. I know we have some subscribers in Haiti. I believe Emmanuel is in Haiti, if I'm not mistaken. I hope that he is well, his family is well, and anyone that is in the path. I've had some subscribers say that they are in Jamaica, and so I hope that they are okay. Their families are safe. Please let us know in the comments section. I pray that all is well. Belize issued a tropical storm watch stretching south from its border with Mexico to Belize City. Late Monday, Beryl became the earliest storm to develop or form into a Category 5 hurricane in the Atlantic and peaked, at winds of 165 miles per hour. That is fast. I couldn't imagine being in a storm that has winds of 165 miles an hour. Could you imagine debris moving around and you having to dodge or stay indoors because things were in the air? That is fast. It amazes me when you watch the news, you see the weatherman or the meteorologist or the weatherwoman outside during these storms. Why aren't they ever affected? Why are they always seemingly at the safest place during these storms? It's amazing to me. Tuesday, before weakening to a still destructive Category 4. Early Wednesday, the storm was about 250 miles east-southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. Oh, wow. It had topped winds of 145 miles per hour. I think I've been in a car that has gone maybe 100, 105. I kind of get a little afraid when you get around 110, 115, 120. But 145 to 65 mile per hour winds, that's insane. That's frightening. And was moving west-northwest at 22 miles per hour, the center said. Beryl was expected to bring life-threatening winds and storm surge to Jamaica. Oh, I'm just overwhelmed. This is sounding very destructive. I remember when I was younger, there was Hurricane Andrew, and that was crazy. And Hurricane Katrina, that was not too long ago. But those two hurricanes were pretty strong. I can remember Hurricane Andrew, Hurricane Katrina. I remember when people from New Orleans was moving to Atlanta in Georgia because they had nowhere to live because of the waters and the winds destroyed their property. Oh, I hope no one that watches the channel is going through anything like that. That's just horrendous. Where officials warned residents in flood-prone areas to prepare for evacuation. So evacuation is when you have to leave your home. You have to get out, evacuate. All right. So you have to basically get to high ground because, as the article said, notice flood-prone areas. So areas that are more likely to be flooded. I mean, could you imagine? Of course, you want to escape a storm with your life, but could you imagine everything that you have, everything that you've worked hard for, gone probably in a day or two? That is wild to me. Now, of course, life is the most precious thing, but imagine you and your family, you're safe, you're well, out of harm's way, as we say, but your home, your vehicles, everything just gone. I couldn't imagine that. I heard about the fires in California that took place for a long time, and it caused so much damage. And I saw a headline, or I heard someone talking about how certain insurance companies were now leaving California because there is so many claims That is crazy to me. For the insurance companies just to bail and close up shop, that's wow. I am encouraging all Jamaicans to take the hurricane as a serious threat, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said in a public address Tuesday. It is, however, not a time to panic. That would be hard. Not to panic. Look at that picture. In Miami, National Hurricane Center Director Michael Brennan said Jamaica appears to be in the direct path of Beryl. You guys let me know if you're in Jamaica, if you're okay, or if you know anyone in Jamaica. What are they saying? What are the reports? What's really going on? I hope everyone is okay. Look at these folks in this particular picture. I mean, those boats, the waves, I couldn't imagine. We are most concerned about Jamaica, where we are expecting the core of a major hurricane to pass near or over the island. So the eye of the hurricane is the most dangerous part. It's, I think, like the center of the hurricane. And I'm going to tell you, this was sad, what was on television last night. During this Hurricane Beryl, the day after tomorrow, it was about this hurricane that came through New York in the wintertime and wiped everything out, or what I believe to be was some type of hurricane. I said, how could they put that on the air when you got people having to deal with a real life destructive hurricane? Well, it's not like they knew, but they could have changed that. Okay, let's continue. You want to be in a safe place where you can ride out the storm by nightfall. Be prepared to stay in that location through Wednesday. Oh my goodness. Having to get up and leave and just hope you make it through the night. It continues by saying storm surge of 6 to 9 feet above tropical tide levels are likely in Jamaica, as well as heavy rain. So the waters will get to 6 to 9 feet. I'm over 6 feet. So that means the waters would be that high. This is a big hazard or problem or danger in the Caribbean, especially with the mountainous islands. This could cause life-threatening, flash floods and mudslides in some of these areas. Wow, I didn't even think about that. So with the mountains and the water coming down, it causes another problem. Goodness. A tropical storm warning was in place for the entire southern coast of Hispaniola. Is that how you say that? An island shared by Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Good gracious. That's a destructive path. So that's pretty much this particular article. It's just talking about how destructive and devastating this hurricane is. And you have another picture here. You have another picture here. I just couldn't imagine. And imagine having children going through this. Whew. Goodness, look at the hurricane right there. That's it right there. Wow. So they've had one fatality in Grenada. They've had 5 over, we read earlier in the article. Could you imagine all of the crops, all of the farms, all of the equipment, all of these things being destroyed during this hurricane? But one thing about humans is that we rebuild. And so New Orleans has been rebuilt since Hurricane Katrina. And I'm most certain that these other countries will rebuild after the Hurricane comes through there. So I'm not going to take time to keep reading the rest of this article. It's saying pretty much the same thing, but I wanted to read a news article. Let me know down in the comment section what type of subjects are of interest in the news. Of course, you have leisure, you have celebrities, you have weather, you have financial, lifestyle. Let me know down in the comments section what type of interest do you have when it comes to the news, so I can pick articles that you are interested in. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. As always, be sure to enjoy the rest of your day and join me on my next episode. I hope to see you then. Have a great evening.